Good morning, Singapore, and welcome to the biggest and best breakfast show in the world. And I can't believe we missed Jerry last week. You know how time flies, right? We were at the Mandai Rainforest Resort last week.
I watched both of you.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I can't believe it's been a week already.
I know, and we miss you. We really did miss you. And we're so happy you're back today.
All of you too.
And you're back, but you're not back in Singapore. Where are you?
No, I am in Japan. Yokoso, Japan.
What?
Yokoso? What's Yokoso?
I thought you were in Nagoya.
Oh, welcome to Japan. She's in Nagoya, but she said Yokoso, Japan.
Yokoso used to be a place, a shopping. Was it a shopping center here in Singapore? Yokoso. There was was it a Japanese supermarket or something?
I have no idea.
Yokoso. I definitely remember that name, Yokoso.
I don't think so.
Okay, and I'm not thinking Yaohan for those of you who are thinking I'm thinking Yaohan. No, Yokoso. There was definitely a Yokoso somewhere.
Okay, Yokoso means welcome.
All right, let us know if you remember Yokoso like I do on our Facebook. Okay, so anyway, Jerry, you always bring sunshine. What's the sunshiny topic that we're discussing today?
Oh, the topic isn't so sunshiny because I came to Japan and I had a thought, right? Because I saw the way that they work. And today we're talking about burnout and depression. Because 2 weeks ago when we were in Korea, we were talking about the mental landscape in Korea. So, coming here and experiencing the space and seeing how they work, I just wanted to just reflect on the different mental health landscape in Japan and Singapore also, and do a little bit of that comparison also. So a big shout out to my interns who pulled out all the numbers. So today we have a few numbers that we can see. So they actually pulled it out. I'm quite last minute, so thank you to the interns. Yes.
Okay, so you have numbers.
Yes, but before that, the definition, right? So we have burnout and depression. So depression, we know depression is a clinical disorder and we can diagnose it. And we often, characterize it with lethargy, low moods, irritability, and, that whole disinterest in the activities that you used to like before. So it's oftentimes confused with burnout. So burnout is not a clinical disorder, but it is included actually in the medical diagnosis. So they have the ICD, we have the DSM for the psychologist, and then there's the ICD, which is for the is a medical manual. It is an occupational phenomenon and not a medical classification.
Okay.
Are you still talking about burnout?
That's burnout.
Yes, that's burnout. So it is conceptualized from chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed. So that's one of the criteria, right? So 3 dimensions: energy depletion, exhausted. They feel dread. They feel a lot of negativity towards work. Okay, and they want to distance themselves from work, and they are less efficient at work.
Okay.
Are you talking about like guys or girls? Because guys, maybe it's low testosterone levels. That's why.
It could be, but so it sounds similar also. But then, if it's low testosterone, then it will be pervasive across different environments and not just pertaining to work.
I was going to ask you, burnout is only specific to work. Not
Yes.
you can't be burnt out at home because you're being driven mad by your kids, by your spouse, whatever it is, or is that just pure frustration and not burnout? Like, is it only for
So
work?
you can be burned out to a certain. Don't forget that parenting is also work.
Yeah.
Running the household is also work. So a lot of people think that if it's not salaried, it is not work. That is not true. So you can be burnt out, where parenting is concerned. If you don't manage yourself well, if you're trying to run the household and you don't know how to pace yourself, you can be burnt out too.
Okay, Glenn, you were right. Tanjong Katong Shopping Center is where Yokoso was.
Yeah.
It was Singapore's
Yokoso.
first 24-hour Japanese supermarket.
Yokoso.
Yokoso.
Wow!
Yeah.
Yes.
Really was.
I'm old.
It was replaced by Giant Supermarket, but the building still retains the Yokoso name apparently at
Oh, really?
at Tanjong Katong Shopping Center. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay. But
You
back
are right.
But back to all those people who are burning out and all that, I think they should also, take note of their diet and nutrition as well, because that
Yeah, for
contributes,
sure.
to I feel like people feeling, low energy.
Absolutely, because you are what you eat. And you need to get your fuel, your nutrition and everything from the food that you eat. And if your body doesn't feel good, it's impossible for the rest of you to feel good as well.
Yeah. But I
So
guess for these
definitely.
people, they're so busy,
Yeah, it's hard.
they skip their meals,
snack.
and as a result, they end up,
Yeah.
in that list.
Yeah.
Burnout.
Especially in Singapore, I mean, people get so busy. It's like 2 income households. Sometimes they have 2 jobs per person. They
Yep.
don't have time to
Yep.
prepare food. They go out, they buy hawker food. Now, I love hawker food, but if you eat hawker food 3 times a day, every day, it's not going to be great for you. And then they don't exercise, and then they snack at the workplace, eat things out of packets. So it can get very repetitive and damaging to the body and mind.
And definitely. So the physical manifestation of burnt out in Singapore, right? So you have your gastric issues. So you're absolutely right. So if they don't look after themselves, gastric issues, muscle ache, chronic fatigue, and your somatic symptoms like your headaches.
Yeah, there. Angel and myself were both aching today because we were at the gym yesterday.
Yeah,
different kind of
that's
aching.
that's a good ache though. That's a good gratitude
Yes, that's a
ache.
good
Yeah.
ache.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good ache. Whereas in Japan, their physical manifestation is slightly different. They also have the chronic fatigue, but they have the high blood pressure. It manifests in medical conditions. So they have high blood pressure, heart problems, they also have digestive issues, and many of them eat convenient food. And mind you, convenient food here is super yummy. The
And quite-
onigiris, there are a million types.
And
Oh.
they have them at like your 7-Elevens and all that. You buy them off the shelves, all your prepackaged stuff, vending machines and everything.
But I hear they have healthy options there, right?
They
In the
do,
convenience
they
stores.
do. They do. So, in a way, it is good that these are comfort foods, but they also have unhealthy comfort foods. And sometimes we gravitate towards the unhealthy
Yeah.
comfort foods that are super sweet, super salty, super oily, very, very rich.
Ask me
Yeah.
what I just had for breakfast. Ask me. Ask me what I just had for breakfast.
Let me guess, char kway teow.
No. So where
Close.
can I get char kway teow at this time of the morning? No. I just had lontong. Oh,
Whoa!
so good.
But you're right about the convenience food. I mean, if you put a healthy snack next to an unhealthy snack in a convenience store and you're going through, say, burnout or depression, chances are you're going to gravitate towards the unhealthy snack because you want that extra salt, you want the extra sweetness or the fat or something. What is it? I mean, do you know the psychology behind that? Why we would gravitate towards the unhealthy stuff when we know the healthy stuff is good for us?
I mean, the unhealthy food. So first of all, when we are stressed, tense, the the dietitian will probably be better at this, but all our hormones, salivary glands, they change. Just like if we go up into the air, taste food differently.
Okay, hold on,
So
Jerry.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Why
Yeah.
don't we just
Sure.
why don't you ask Jerry that question again?
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Hey, Charlotte is coming in on Friday, right?
Yes.
Because she mentioned nutrition and stuff, so I can...
Yes. So ask her.
So we're talking about depression and burnout, and we were just on the topic of nutrition and food, and why it is
Yeah.
that when we're, say, sad, depressed, overworked, angry even, we would reach for the unhealthy, saltier, sweeter, more fattening food rather than the healthier food. Why is that?
Yeah, like I say, I come from the more psychological aspect, and you can ask the dietitian for the more accurate one. But when there is a chemical change, there's hormonal changes, our taste buds or our senses also would change together. So we would crave for richer food because everything else just tastes so bland. Everything just tastes just not as exciting, and you just need something a little bit more. I would actually encourage everyone to be a bit more mindful today. If you're stressed, you're tired, what would you crave for? So this is something that I always ask the different clients in session when they say they would overeat. Maybe it's because they're not satisfying their taste buds from the get go. So they
Okay.
start to eat more, right? So there is the sweet, there is the sour, there is spicy. What else is there? There's bitter.
Bitter,
Yeah.
salty,
So the
yeah.
different salty. Yeah. So the different tastes, right? So for example, when I'm very, very stressed, my entire team knows that I'm stressed. Guess
What do
what
you
I would
eat?
eat?
What?
Jelly beans.
No, I will eat something
Chocolate.
very spicy,
Ah,
extremely spicy. So I will go for spice. But somebody else might go for something which
chocolate.
is very salty. It could be chocolate also. So I would think that when we are tired, we tend to gravitate towards something sweet just to give us the energy boost. Yeah. So if we are a little bit more mindful, we can actually figure out what our body needs, and then we go towards that taste rather than eating everything and then overeating.
Right.
Good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, my body always needs either whiskey or stout. Yes.
My goodness, Glenn. Okay.
Hey, fewer calories as well
Oh, is it? Okay. Compared to what though?
compared to her spicy food, no?
You don't even know what
Or
spicy food
chocolate
is.
or, a
but
sweet dessert.
But it's also the same for depression. Like some people want like carbs as well. I feel like carbs when I'm
For
say tired.
okay, so for depression, it's slightly different, right? You either don't eat at all
Or
because
you
you
eat
have
a lot.
completely no appetite,
Yeah.
or you might eat a lot, and you don't know what they would eat. It might be everything. Yeah, they might overeat on anything that they can get their hands on. Um, but we're talking about burnout. We're talking about stress. It could be the taste, it could be different textures. So I'll always look at textures, the 3T: taste, temperature, and texture. So texture would be something that is softer, but some people don't like, especially the guys don't like it because if we think of porridge, we think of tofu, it's a little bit soft. So they might not like it. They think it's sick people's food.
Oh,
But
really?
if people gravitate towards that, but most people gravitate to something with a crunch or a bite. So you see people eating potato chips or eating meat that is really tough. Yeah. So temperature could be you want something warmer or something colder. So
Okay.
it'd be interesting to see what you actually enjoy when you're feeling a little bit down or a little bit stressed.
What do you eat, Glenn, when you're feeling down or
I
stressed?
only felt down like recently,
Yeah.
like over the past year or so.
Yeah. And what
And
did
it
you
was
eat?
just alcohol.
alcohol, right? To you,
Yeah,
not food.
not food. Yeah. But I mean, I think
So
it's okay.
it's
You know, I mean, I'm not an alcoholic, am I?
Is that rhetorical? I shan't answer that question.
I mean, I
yeah,
enjoy
we can't
my.
answer that
We
question.
oh my goodness, Dr. Jerry as well.
If I had eaten and eaten and eaten during the past year, right? I think I would be like 10 kilograms overweight right now.
But I don't know which is worse,
Anyway,
turning to alcohol or turning to food. I mean, everything in moderation, right?
So both are substances, and both everything in moderation, like you say, right? So substances, if we do it, we overdo it, it's no good for our bodies.
So the reason you don't prescribe a bottle of whiskey to your clients is because you're afraid, they might be too dependent on it after that.
Of course.
Why don't you let them work it out? You know what I mean?
No, she's here to guide them. She can't like instill it in them and say, "Here, take a bottle of whiskey." That's
Yeah,
gonna
but-
start it off.
But they're all messed up anyway.
No, but that's like opening
can't-
Pandora's box, right? You never
Okay.
know what's gonna happen with it after.
It's a gamble.
Yeah, that's not her line of business.
Right,
She doesn't gamble with
So
people.
we don't encourage any increase or decrease in substances.
No
when
decrease
you are-
either.
No decrease, because some people don't eat at all, right?
Right, okay.
So no increase or decrease. You keep it. You try to keep it as similar as before. Okay, some numbers, right? I promised numbers. Burnout in Singapore. The number is 61% of Singaporean employees reported burnout from one of the surveys done. So
That's quite high.
But Jerry, burnout is a term that everyone uses loosely. I never knew it was so serious until you mentioned it today. That it's on the list of your list of medical conditions or something.
yes.
Yeah, but in the past, I
Of-
mean,
of-
we would use the term very loosely. Like,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm so tired. I think I'm burnt out,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
It was just a matter of speech.
Oh, so I wanted to clarify this because it can get to a point where it is quite fatal. Because in Japan, there are, so they don't have the percentage, but they have 883 individuals recognized with mental health disorder due to overwork, including 79 cases of suicide or attempted suicide. So they have a term called karoshi. So karoshi means death, death by overwork.
Oh,
So this is a risk that they have.
what?
Yeah, around 1 in 10 Japanese workers put in over 80 hours of overtime per month, with 1 in 5 at risk of karoshi.
Oh no.
Yes.
Put in
So
almost 80
karoshi,
hours.
80
Yeah, so it
hours
is
a week.
correct, ingrained in their culture, where they have physical and mental exhaustion.
That's
from
16 hours a
prolonged-
day. If you're working 5 days a week, that's 16 hours a day. That's a lot. That's like
Yeah.
double of what you're supposed to be working. So because it's meant to be 8 hours of working, 8 hours of sleep, and then 8 hours of
Yeah.
everything else.
But
Right?
does that include like the entertainment at the end of the night? Because I mean, the Japanese
do.
do that quite a bit.
They
you know?
do.
It's like out
karaoke
with
and
clients
entertaining,
and
dinners, sake.
does that.
But
it's
but that can
including-
also be stressful though. You know, the pressure to have to entertain, the pressure to have to take clients out, take your bosses out, night after night. You can get tired of it as well.
Possible. It is possible. It is possible. So that could be that cultural work aspect, but also the mindset. So the mindset of gaman. So gaman is endurance. So where they value that, and they would not tell anyone. They will just, in Singapore terms, they will just tahan lah. So they call it gaman tahan. So they will just tahan until they cannot take it, and they burn out.
Karoshi.
No, so that's gaman.
Yeah, I know. You say until they
Karoshi is
cannot
the-
take it.
So gaman, they would endure the distress and they would endure, whatever that is going on until they cannot manage it anymore, until it's very, very severe. So it is quite worrying. So coming here, we love how they are very intense and very effective in their work, but it comes with a price.
Okay.
So I thought it was very interesting, and that's why I thought I wanted to talk about it.
And we've got a message on Facebook from Maul, who says, "I work with Japanese colleagues and customers. It's very, very stressful working for or with them, as they expect conformity, and every communication, like email, includes the whole team, including senior management. And they also expect us to do things outside of our scope. They believe it's teamwork."
Yeah, so it's not to put down any culture or anything. I just want to create that awareness of, how certain mindsets and certain cultures, or certain work cultures may create an environment that is a little bit, not so conducive. So we can make that difference for ourselves.
Do you think we have that culture here as well? Because when Mole said, conformity and communication with emails that include a lot of people within them working outside of your scope, outside of your working hours as well. Do you think we have a lot of that here as well?
I don't think. Okay, so there is a shift in the mindset from the older generation to the younger generation. So the current generation, they have their own challenges, and they constantly say they're burnt out. So when Glenn says, "Oh, we just say it," so flippantly. Actually, I don't think it's the older generation that says that. It's the younger generation that says that. And I'm not sure, or rather, they have a lot of distractors. Rather, it's not that I'm not sure. There are a lot of distractors. So I find the Singaporean youth very distracted by many different things. And when they are at work, they're not very present in their work. But that's only a personal opinion. So don't, it is not a diagnosis. It is a personal opinion.
You feel that about Cheyenne and Shalini, is it? They're okay. Right? I mean,
They're not
very
present.
focused.
Hello, you guys here?
Okay. Not all of them, okay? But they are constantly, on their phones, thinking about different things at every opportunity, doom scrolling, just swiping different things. Maybe I was too loud.
No, okay, let's carry
Oh,
on.
good.
Where were we?
The young ones, not
Yeah, the
pulling
young
their weight.
ones. So the presenteeism, we talk about this presenteeism rather than the absenteeism. So they are there physically, but they are not really very effective or very efficient in their work. Yeah, because they are distracted. I feel they are distracted by a million things.
So
And
it's like what
then
we used to say, right? You're present, but no one's home. Is that what it is?
no, they are home. They are home doing other things, Yeah, and
Okay.
then they complain about many different things, about the bosses, about like the deadlines, about the volume of work. Where in the past, the older generation just get the work done. They just do it.
So boring.
We have someone on our Facebook. His name is Pietro, and he's asking, can a senior go into depression if he or she is not prepared for retirement?
Definitely. So I haven't worked with that for a long time. If you're talking about maybe 15 years ago, it was very, very common because people did not prepare for retirement. So the older generation, they work all their lives for survival, to put food on the table, to look after their family, and that's their life goal. So they don't have any plans after retirement. And I'm not talking about financial plans, I'm talking about social, emotional, physical, intellectual. So all these and spiritual. So the 5 different pillars that I constantly talk about, they don't plan for it. So what happens is when they retire or the day that retire, they feel a complete loss of self. And that's when they spiral into depression. And I used to have a lot of cases where men would come and, they are in a very distressed state because they've lost their identity, they've lost their purpose, they've lost their direction in life, but they still have a good 20 or 30 years more.
Yeah, because a lot of
So they
people
don't-
back then, they used to immerse themselves fully in their work, and work was everything, right? Once you lose that, then you're like, what do you do
Yes.
with yourself?
Exactly. So the weight on their shoulders suddenly got lifted, right? And that we think is good, but for them it's not good.
But there's so
yes,
there's so many
do
people
have-
these days who also immerse themselves, even the slightly younger generation.
Yep.
They immerse themselves in their work and they don't have anything, that they like to do apart from just immersing themselves in their work. So, I mean, they're going to also regret it probably when they reach that age and suddenly they feel like, okay, now without work, what do I do? I have nothing else, that
keep me
I'm
busy.
interested in. I
Yeah.
don't like to travel. I don't like to head to the gym because I see many people
Yeah.
who are like maybe even in their late 60s or 70s who will still hit the gym.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
Yeah.
they've been doing it their entire lives. It's that work, that balance, right?
Yeah.
Things that they do outside of work, So I would like to just say this: if you're one of those people who just works and has nothing else that you're doing, perhaps maybe it's time for you to start
Yeah.
taking something up.
And also a social circle is really important. Like having that social circle of say different groups of friends, because you have different friends for different reasons, right? I mean, this particular group for you goes golfing. This other particular group goes, I don't know what, because you only golf.
For me, like golfing and just going out for a good
For
dinner and
drinks,
and
or maybe a karaoke session,
or partying,
They all seem to be intertwined. Though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think social circles are so important.
Absolutely. So it's so great that you're talking about it because even before retirement, this is something that keeps us all afloat. I recognize that not all of us can enjoy our jobs.
Yeah.
So like for Angel, Glenn, myself, we all enjoy our jobs. We're very excited about our jobs. So the jobs are not just work and it's not just a chore, but we are energized by it. But we are in a fortunate space.
Yeah.
Not everybody can enjoy their jobs. So what, Glenn and Angel, what you're saying is very, very important. Outside of the workspace, you need to have something enjoyable. So that's one. So the interest becomes very important. And our young people nowadays, if you ask them, do you have an interest or do you have a hobby? Most of them say, no, I don't.
Really? I
don't
thought
know.
they were gonna say yes.
Cheyenne, do you
They-
have a hobby? Do you have a hobby?
Cheyenne is great. She's
Yeah,
got
I have
so
a few hobbies.
Okay, what are your hobbies? Only share the ones you want to share. Obviously.
I go for Pilates. I like to do my makeup.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Shalini?
You're very
Any
fast, huh?
hobby?
Are you sure
Yeah.
she finished? Huh?
No, she said just a few enough.
Yo, what's wrong with you today? You're like,
Shalini?
I think she's drunk.
Not yet.
Question.
Any hobbies that you have?
I think I like taking photos, like photography.
Yeah, you do. And you're good at it.
Oh, thank you.
Was that like you're telling her she's good at
No,
it,
she
or it's
is.
like you're good at it?
No, she's good at it. Have you not following her photography page? She's
Of course.
very good at it.
Yeah.
She's got an eye. Why are you staring at me?
I don't know. I feel like you're drunk this morning.
On granola, yes. I think my honey was spiked.
Oh no!
I think the pain is going right up her butt, I think.
Stop it.
Because her glutes are aching this morning.
What are your plans today, Dr. Jerry?
I have a plane to catch after this.
Wait.
Oh, are you coming back to Singapore?
No. Going to another part of Japan.
Oh, okay. So from
Nice.
Nagoya, wait, did you start in Tokyo? And then
No,
Nagoya or what?
Nagoya straight.
Nagoya straight. And then where you
We're
headed to?
going Hakodate.
Gada
We're
what?
going to Hakodate.
What was that? I didn't catch that.
Wait, hold on. Okay, where are you going?
Hakodate.
Hakodate. I haven't heard of Hakodate.
Neither have
I
I.
don't know. So I'm going there to find out.
What are they famous for?
I have no idea.
Are you serious?
No. Yeah.
Okay, explore.
Notice, I don't want to talk about burnout and depression anymore. We end on a
High note.
happy note.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so Hakodate.
For those that are so struggling, right? Most organizations have employee assistance program. Please utilize them. So employee assistance program, they provide counseling for the employees, right? And I want to pick up on what Glenn and Angel mentioned about having an interest. So if you still don't have a hobby, please look for a hobby. Find your tribe, find your community. That is very, very important to keep you energized, excited, laughing. You have a great community like this radio family. You will laugh all the time.
Fantastic. Okay, now before
Good
you
to know that we are your therapy as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
laughter is the best medicine. Okay, before you fly off to Hakodate, I need to let you know it's famous for seafood, just in case, because you have no idea what you're going for. Good for nature lovers. There are cherry blossoms in the spring, autumn leaves in the fall, and snowy landscapes in the winter. And please go up to Mount Hakodate. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But the direction and a purpose.
she's amazing.
Thank you as well.
Yes, she is. She always is. What are you talking about?
No, especially travel. Yeah, anything travel, you wanna find out like which hotel to stay at, or she's the one.
Let me know.
Okay. So all the listeners here are going to ask you for information now. But I like what you said, because the quote I have is actually a word or a ancient Japanese idiom. O by tori. So we all grow and bloom at our own pace. So don't compare yourself to others, for you have your own unique path to follow at a different timeline. So focus on your progress rather than competing with others.
All right.
Thank you, Dr. Jerry.
Thank you so much. Are your eyelashes a bit longer today than usual? Huh?
You'll be in Japan.
Oh, nice. Okay, fantastic. But no longer in Hakodate.
No, Hakodate.
Hakodate, which is, by the way, in Hokkaido. So you can have scallops.
All right.
Ooh, nice.
There you go. It means scallop, right? Hakodate.
No, it doesn't. It's a city in Hokkaido.
Okay. Anyway, thank you very much, Jerry. We'll see you next week. Try to come to the studio.
She's in Japan next week, she just said.
You're still in Japan next week. Next Tuesday, you'll still be in Japan?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I guess we'll see you again next week from whichever city you're in. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much for checking in with us, Jerry, although you're on holiday. Thank you so much. And love to the family, Julian, Amber, and Josh. See you next week. Take care.